Rural Delivery first visited Heartland potato chips in 2012. At that time, the family-owned company had taken on a chip factory in addition to its cropping business, after multinational owner Bluebird closed its South Canterbury operations in 2009. 12 years on, it's still owned and run by the Bowens, making a variety of chips from potatoes grown locally by James Bowen.
On site here we've got about 1,300 hectares. We're growing close to 250 hectares of potatoes, but some of that's on leased ground just to keep the rotation and keep the soil fresh for the potatoes. 100% irrigated here, and that's coming from bores and the Rangitata South scheme. Before planting we've got an agronomist, and he works closely with a couple of fertiliser companies, and they'll do soil sampling, and then he'll go away depending on varieties and work out the specific requirements to grow that crop. We're growing several different varieties. We're starting with a Lady Rosetta, which is an early maturing variety, relatively drought tolerant, which is good, and then that follows on with sort of a Hermie Crop 77 through to a long-term storage variety of Lady Clear. And the Lady Clears they'll go into storage in April, and we'll still process them start of January. We want a nice uniform sized potato, nice and round, something that's got a reasonably ease of growing, but also has a high solids so that the factory gets a good return off their potatoes as well. We're starting cultivation in the autumn as the wheat or barley or grass comes off. Winter fallow it, and during that time they're doing soil testing. Into spring we're planting earlies in that first week of September, and then they're usually ready second week of January. The bulk of the planting, or all of the planting's done sort of first, second week in November, followed by irrigation, fertiliser requirements, fungicides, and then sort of from end of February we're starting to shape up for storage and harvest.
They're looking good, aren't they?
They're good uniform size. I'd had the contract to supply Bluebird for a number of years, and then in 2008 Bluebird came to do a feasibility study on the business, and then I knew then that things didn't look too good. So then in 2009, when they closed it, well, it gave me the opportunity from a lifetime dream of trying to produce and grow my own potato chips. So we actually bought their old building. They didn't have any gear in it. All the plant was pulled out. And then in 2010, October the 16th, I think it was, we put our first batch of chips out, distributed around the South Island supermarkets. Charlotte, our oldest daughter, well, she was a trained school teacher, and then she come back and showed interest in the factory, and then we gradually moved her in, and now she's general manager of Heartland now, so that works out pretty good to have family there. And of course James here, he's running the farms. I talk to James every day, and of course I still take the potatoes to the factory myself most days, so I see Charlotte and we all get on well.
My role here is to pretty much oversee everything within the business, so that can be from production to sales to freighting. My role has certainly evolved since I've been involved in the business, starting off helping out in admin to loading trucks to working on production to getting my feet under the table to now overseeing the whole site. When we first started there was 8 staff, very much on a casual basis. Today we've got 40 staff on site here, and that involves admin, new product development, operations, warehousing, and obviously production staff. We run 24 hours a day, 4 days a week, and we have 2 lines that operate throughout the day shift and 1 line that runs the 24 hours a day. So potatoes are certainly the main ingredient, but they're fried in oil, which we use a special blend of sunflower and canola oil, and we also have flavouring which we sprinkle onto the potato chips once they've been cooked, and that's pretty much what goes into all the packets. When we first started off, we certainly went with the flavours that are the go-to flavours, which are still very popular today. We have been experimental with lots of different flavours. Some have worked, some haven't. Two, maple bacon and wasabi mayonnaise were very different flavours to put on a chip, but they're certainly very popular and still out in the market today. We do work with a flavour house that comes to us with trends that are happening around the world. We do sometimes have customers that come to us with different ideas. We literally go to the flavour house with those ideas or work on the ideas that they've shared with us. We tweak them a little bit to our tasting. We've got a very small panel of tasters which comprise of myself, mum and dad, new product development specialist and a couple of other staff. Regarding sustainability, we're really proud that we can say that our potatoes are only transported 30 k's down the road from the family farm, so we've got a really low carbon footprint in that aspect. Consumers love the story, you know, and being able to trace where their product's from, so being able to say that it comes from the family farm, we turn it into our potato chip product here in our own factory. They really resonate with that story, and I don't think we've, published that enough, but those certainly locally in the South Island, and it's gaining traction in the North Island as well now. But yeah, we've certainly got lots of loyal customers that are repeat purchasers, which is great.